Hi, this is Paul Thompson from Spitfire Audio. I'm very excited today to be presenting the latest addition to our signature range, which is David Fanshawe Earth Encounters Volume 1. We're very proud to be presenting this to you in collaboration with Jane Fanshawe and the Fanshawe One World music organisation. Please watch our other YouTube video, which has a huge amount of background information on the library, on David, his incredible life travelling, adventuring and composing. What you'll hear here is almost like travelling back in time and looking through a window to a different world. Some of the sounds here, some of the instruments and some of the cultures no longer exist, and the quality of the recording is extraordinary. David, as well as being a very gifted composer, was also an extremely talented recordist. He had a gift for finding the sweet spot in every situation. And with his charisma and the enormous amount of joy in his personality, he managed to capture incredible performances by musicians all over the world. So in this volume, we have 4 different sections of the library. These are the key top layer sections, which are Atmos recordings, the eDNA section, which I'll come back to later, and then selections of looped recordings and single hits, which are presented in different ways. If we jump in quickly here, you'll see that each section of the library is then subdivided further. So you've got ensemble recordings, you've got melodic based instrumental parts, and then percussive based instrumentals and vocal performances. When you go into one of these, you then find the countries represented. So if we look, you can see, and then as we go in, there might be different drums. And these are all named from the names that David used in his archive. So they're quite descriptive and they tell you kind of what you're listening to, what kind of instruments. But you'll find more information on that within the online manual if you go to spitfireaudio.com/bb. That's the knowledge bulletin board, which is also the holding place for our various manuals and extra information about the libraries. So the reasoning behind this kind of layout is that it's as composer producer friendly as possible. You basically look at the top layer, you decide which section you want to go into, and then once you're in, let's look instrumental percussive, then you've got the list of countries and you can dial down into there and actually start to look at different individual patches. So as I said, have a look at the other YouTube video that accompanies this one, which has the interviews and more kind of interesting background stuff. It's absolutely fascinating. So I'll concentrate here on the library and what the sounds are in the library. So let's start by looking at loops. We're going to go in for, let's start with the percussive loops, and we'll start in China. So on the front panel, there are a variety of different treatments that you can apply to the sounds. You've got a lot of tweaking stuff here, which is very interesting, and you can see how the wobble engine and this engine works in some of our other videos. And you've got basic ADSR control as well. So a lot of the sounds come preloaded with a little bit of reverb, just to give you an idea of how it might sound once you've kind of produced it. You can always turn that off if you want. So you can hear extraordinary, beautiful sound quality. It's absolutely incredible. These recordings made such a long time ago. Just fabulous quality. Now, when we go into these loop sections, these will all lock to your tempo. So if you listen as I'm playing, I'll just dial the tempo up and down. You can hear it changing in real time. Have a listen to this. So as you can hear, I'll do that with another couple of loops so you can hear. Let's put up the Hungry Ghost Ritual. A little bit of reverb on this time. Here we go. So you can hear there's incredible flexibility, very, very little loss in sound quality as you go quite extreme jumps away from the source material. Let's have a listen to some gong loops. So some really beautiful stuff in here, all kinds of things, very delicate stuff to very full on. And again, you can hear the effect of actually dialing the tempo up and down. I'm just going to pick some sounds at random just to play through. So one of the things that you'll hear there is this one is described as a playable loop. Now when we're in the loop section where we have the basic loops are as recorded at the pitch they were recorded, and the playable loops are spread over a key range so that you can kind of tune them into your track very easily just by picking the correct key. We'll have a quick listen to one more from here. And then if we go into the next up, Senegal. So there's all kinds of great stuff in here. Let's have a quick listen to some of this. And if you've got a huge selection of loops from different instruments. Let's have a listen to some djembe. Some absolutely fabulous stuff in here. Let's put the reverb off again. And again, you've got these amazing crystal clear recordings with full on vibe and ambience. Let's put up the mango tree drums. Let's take the reverb off. 2 loops at the same time. So this is obviously sounds like it was recorded slow, so let's pull down the BPM. So you can hear some great stuff in here. I'm going to keep going through. It's tempting to just play every single patch, but let's try just picking things at random and getting a real flavour of the different sections. And again, you've got different variations within. Wherever possible, we've really worked hard to lock into the point at which in the performance where the groove absolutely locks in, where you've got the maximum kind of vibe, but also, you know, to pick different variations so that you do have some kind of flexibility with how you're using the loops. Let's pull that speed down a bit. Listen to the Chiata trumpet. Some really great stuff. Let's keep picking. Just wonderful, wonderful recordings. tinny drums. Some wonderful stuff. So that's Sudan. Let's have a quick listen in Tanzania. Some different sounds, put the reverb up again. These sounds are full of life, they are just incredible. Let's have a quick listen to the Temple Mysteries. Let's have a quick look in Said. And again, let's just a quick jump in. One of the things that David loved doing was to get different perspectives on things. So he would record something from a little bit of a distance away to get the kind of vibe of the space that it was being performed in and the ambient sound around, and then he would really go in amongst the musicians, get right in there and get his microphones in, find the absolute optimum spot for getting a really beautifully wide stereo image. Really wonderful recordings these are. And last but not least, in these loops, a little bit fast. So there's a lot of good stuff in there as well. So that's having a look at the instrumental percussive section of these loops. If we drop into some of the melodic materials, and if we put just a bit of fun. So you can really dial up a storm just from the basic controls, and then you can go deeper into these with the individual controls by command clicking, and then you'll see that there are further controls for each of these. So just very quickly jump through a few more. Pull that right down. And then tamburas. So there's all kinds of stuff. There's a huge variety of different things in here. Let's jump into Tanzania. Let's go for the Ganunzither playable loops. There's a lot of stuff you can do with these. Remember rhythms. And then Masui. Some fantastic stuff in here. And then this one's lovely as well, the Pango Orchestra. So a lot of this stuff is really fabulous. One of the things that David loved about collecting together different kind of musical cultures was to create this new evolving world music of seeding composition with music from all kinds of different cultures all over the world and creating something new that's greater than the sum of its parts. And in some ways that is the thing that's also driven us at Spitfire, of the idea that you can create these beautiful recordings and amazing performances, and these little elements kind of seed music composition into the future. They become almost like the DNA of future music. And this is the path that David was trailblazing when we were in our shorts, still worrying about getting to our lessons on time. So he really was incredibly forward thinking in that way. I'm going to jump into the vocals section and we'll have a quick listen to some of the vocal performances. So there are things like that are kind of small, kind of sting-like loops, and then there are things that are slightly longer. And then if we jump in, switch the reverb off again, pull the tempo down a tiny bit. And these again respond very well to changes in tempo, so if you have a listen. So you can get all kinds of different effects by dialing up the tempo, using even sometimes a very different tempo to the tempo that the track was recorded at. Let's go for some yelps. And again, this is just the loop section of the library, so let's jump in to the Sudan. So there's going to be a slight crossover as well between things that are kind of, featured vocals, solo vocals, and then some vocals that are sat behind other elements, percussion. Sounds a little bit faster than it was recorded. Some just beautiful recordings. It's so evocative. So if we jump out of the loops, we'll just have a very quick listen to the ensemble section. A bit faster. Go to the monocle. Turn the reverb off. And then a couple of other. So there's all kinds of different elements of performance that are extracted from the original performance to give you maximum flexibility. So let's leap out of the loop section and let's have a look at the single hits. So ensemble first. Just this one sound in here. Now you'll notice that there's a little bit of reverb on some of these, again, just to give you a kind of produced sound when you first open the box, but very easy to turn that off. Now, one thing which you'll notice is for the one shots, a lot of them are dialed up so that the first time you play them, you'll hear the full sample, the full extent of the audio recording. If you wanted it to stop when you lift the key, just dial back the release control here, and it'll come off even tighter. So you can control that very precisely, the best way whichever way you want to do that. So there's a certain amount of wind in here. And then let's just jump through different countries. So we've got a ton of gongs here, really beautiful again. So you can create all kinds of beautiful parts and ambiences with these, and some of them are very different. And some of them, as you hear, have a longer performance, which if you want to just take a section of it, you can either go to a different performance, maybe turn the release up a little bit. There's all kinds of ways to use these, and you can get creative in how you actually construct your parts and put them together. So that's the Indonesian gongs. Let's have a look at some of the stuff from Kenya. Here we go. So you see that some of this stuff is presented in across the keyboard, so that you've got things that you can play. And some of them are lots and lots of different performances, little one-shots. And keep going through. Some great stuff in here. Let's have a quick listen to the Zamari solo. So again, if we dial back the release, so you get the idea, and there are different kind of elements from different performances in there. Senegal has you'll recognise this from the loop section, but this is just an extracted one shot from that, tuned over the keyboard. In the Sudan section, there's some fabulous stuff in here. The antelope horn, again tuned so you can play it over the keyboard. We've got the gas cylinder bell, which is one of my favourites. And again, you can hear just occasionally the ambient noise of the environment, which just adds just an extra layer of magic to things. So some wonderful stuff in here. Let's just jump through quickly, getting carried away. And again, over the keyboard. Let's go to the next up. Some great playable stuff in here as well. Some wonderful marimba glisses. And again, you get some different perspectives poking in every so often. Let's listen to the... So you can come up with all kinds of mad stuff. Very experimental, very inspiring. Last but not least, just a little one there. So those are the instrumental melodic single hits. We've got In the percussive section, you'll recognise again some of these. You've got some of the Hungry Ghost. We've got a couple of Bronze Age gongs in here. In Senegal, we've got some wonderful stuff. So you can get some great rhythms going, and again, beautiful recordings, just incredibly immediate recordings. Let's have a listen to the mango tree drums. Djembe. Spirit drums. And again, with that reverb. Nice immediate sounding recordings. Let's jump around. Let's have a listen to Tanzania. So there's some great stabs in here. The Temple Mysteries, which you heard earlier. These are some individual hits which we've managed to find. So some great stuff in there as well. Let's come out of Thailand. Quick listen to the Tibetan one-shots. And again, these are kind of more performance orientated. Zaire. Love drum. So you get the idea in the percussive section, and then we've got various vocal one-shots. I won't play through everything, as tempting as it is. We've got ululations. We've got fantastic stuff. There's some great sting type sounds like this, and we've got some other chorus sounds and fabulous. So, and there's a ton of stuff in here as well. I can't play through everything because we'll be sat here all day. So we get the idea. Let us jump now at this point into the Atmos. So there are some fabulous Atmos recordings. I'll just play through. So things like this, animal recordings. We've got general background Atmos like this. We've got mountain brook. Again, just beautifully recorded. We've got let's do some dance Atmos. Just some wonderful stuff. One more, and then we'll jump onto Edna. It's quite atmospheric with the verb, but here's it dry. So there we go. Now, eDNA. So the first thing to look at is, let's look at the loops menu. Now there's a couple of other, I'll just expand out you can see the whole control panel. So there's quite a lot of information online already about how this works, and also the manual. You can check out the manual to get really detailed information about all of the kind of effect systems in here. It's very, very deep. But the basic way to load different sounds is to click on the little folder here, and you'll see all of the different stuff that's in it. Absolute ton of stuff made from these beautiful recordings. And then in here, a ton of stuff. So if we go, for example, well, you've got, so on this side at the moment, you've got the China breakup warp, and on this side you've got the China dirt warp. So I'll just play a few different options. So you can hear in there what's happening. You've got the oscillator going at the moment. So if I play without the oscillator, just have a listen to this, and I'll fade it from side to side. So you can hear that's a couple of ideas of warped stuff. You've got a rating system as well that you can kind of keep track of your favourite sounds. But we'll stay with the same original sound, and we'll try a couple of the different sounds. So we've loaded hollow into this side and shimmer into this side. Now let's have a quick listen to those two. So one way to do to get an oscillation going is obviously to use the mixer and set the appropriate speed that you like, whether it's, let's set it to 8 times. So you can hear in there you've got a great kind of nice oscillation going. You can also set the gate sequencer. So let's come up with an interesting pattern. Or at least I'm saying it's interesting. Let's do that. Right, so, and this is on 1 time, so it's going to be quite quick. If we slow that right down. So you can hear what's happening. This is just super basic, you know, just taking the first 2 sounds. I haven't set anything else. I haven't done any of your cool wobbles. I haven't set any cool effects in here. I'm not even touching the mod wheel. This is a very, very deep system in here that you can get into. Let's pick 2 kind of slightly similar. So we'll go for 2 shimmer instruments, and then I'll just leave the mixer oscillation going, and I'll just play. Have a listen to this. So there's all kinds of cool stuff in here. If we let's go to the one-shot selection. Right. And let's have just a basic listen to, let's slow that down a tiny bit. Okay, so that's an interesting sound. Let's jump in here and have a look. Now you've got some cool, interesting stuff in here. Let's pull up. Okay, let's have a quick listen to this. Right, that's quite an interesting thing. So if let's increase the speed of this. It's quite cool. We could try doing the gate sequencer. So you can hear, basically there's a ton of different warped sound in here, and some really cool stuff that you can create yourself. Inside here there are construction kits, the creator patches, so have a read of the manual, read online and see you'll understand how you can incorporate your own sound into there as well. So interesting stuff. I mean, the possibilities are endless. You can really dig into this and put something together that is totally your own. And it's great to have these wonderful source recordings to create this stuff from. So I hope you enjoyed this walkthrough. Really very excited and proud to be bringing this first volume of David's wonderful recordings to you. Hope you enjoyed this and look forward to seeing you on the next one. Goodbye.